I'm Dean. I'm the dad.
I'm Laura. I'm the mom.
And I'm Crystalline. I'm the daughter.
And together we are...
Family Plot! We're a little broken today, aren't we?
A little bit, but it's okay. Laura's had to work for the last, 2 weeks solid, and has another at least solid week of no days off.
Something like that.
So she's a bit worn down, and that's okay. You're allowed to be worn down, and we still love you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
I'll work
that.
on the house this week.
And Krysta just went back to school yesterday, and so she's kind of adapting to her new reality as well.
And I've been nauseous all day since Monday.
It's probably school. I'd be nauseous if I had to go.
Yeah,
So.
school makes me nauseous too.
More like dizzy. Or like faint dizzy.
Nauseously dizzy, dizzily nauseous. I'm something.
All of that just struck me.
Struck you?
Yeah. It's destroying me right now. I just woke up from a nap, so that's when it's the worst, but also it plays throughout the day and gets worse. So at this point, I'm all mixed up with my words.
I see.
When I talk, I'll bring it closer to my face.
Okay. Let's talk our introduction, our opening into this week's episode.
So I feel, as mom, I feel like I have to say, because this was my idea to cover this topic in the first place. And I've read your notes, and I don't want to interrupt you a lot because I know that messes with your flow. I do want to start out and say that
Trigger warning.
so many trigger warnings will be part of this show. And we're sorry about that.
May cause depression for a few weeks. If you don't want to hear this, exit.
Okay. So it's a hard show it's a hard topic for anybody to talk about when there are family issues, there are abuse issues, there are substance issues. All of these things are tough topics. However, as a family ourselves, and a family that has been a self-proclaimed yours, mine, and ours family,
Yep.
we are what I like to call on our part 2 of our life.
Yeah.
We were together previously, we were separate, and we came back together. I feel like it's a story that we can talk about, give some information on, because even though it's a hard story to tell, I feel like it's a story that should be told if for no other reason than to put out there that at the end of the day, we need to love each other and not lash out at innocence for any reason to get back at someone.
I'm okay with that. I also, one thing I do like is that it's not a well-covered case.
Exactly.
It was at once upon a time, but that was before the kids were found. And to this day, the case is referred to as the Sam and Lindsey Porter case, referring to the victim. And if more cases were referred to that way, I think we might have less cases. So, yes. And definitely trigger warnings, because there's child death in this episode, so if that's a trigger for you, step out. We're fine. You matter. Your feelings matter. Catch us next week.
There's always next week, and for someone I don't know if she's listening because she's very sick right now. Miss V, hello.
Miss V, sorry you're sick.
I hope you get back well. Don't know what happened to you. Well, you said you were very sick. But whatever you're fighting through, I hope you get through decently fast, and I will be excited to see you on Monday, or next Monday, sometime this week.
Well, if she's got COVID, I hope she got the Omicron variant, because apparently that's fairly mild. It doesn't go after the lungs. It targets protein assignment. So.
Don't hope.
I just wanted to
trigger warning that.
So yes, point is that we want to make sure we get the trigger warnings out because we don't want anybody to be surprised by this. And I definitely was going to drop a trigger warning, even though I didn't have it in the notes prior to, just because it's a little heavier than our normal fare.
Definitely.
But it isn't the first child death case we talked about. Now, this one, though, we can't really hide the victims' identities like we did with the other one because that one was the Deborah Green case as opposed to the names of the kids. This is the Sam and Lindsey Porter case named after the victims, and rightly so, in my opinion. That being said, remember to share the show on social media if you enjoy it. If not, keep it to yourself. Check out our Patreon and buy me a coffee if you'd like to help us with any monetary, just the money you give us helps in 1,000 different ways, from new equipment, better sound, to
feeding the rabbit.
So, yeah. Also, in one notable instance, it helped pay for a weekend getaway for Laura and I.
It did?
Yeah, well, some of it, yeah. We got $10 that weekend, so it helped.
Oh, okay. I guess. Cool. I didn't know.
So,
thank you.
I think it was the last time I took you out to Great Plains Cattle Company, which if you live in Kansas City and like steak, that's the place to go. Great Plains Cattle Company. They also have a French onion soup that is amazing. Oh my god. It's so good. It's so good. So.
Not that we can go there often. Maybe once a year if we're lucky.
So, yeah. Patreon, buy me a coffee if you want to help support the show in any way. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That being said, it's time to get into this week's show, which, as you know by now, is the Sam and Lindsey Porter case. On June 5th, 2004, Dan Porter showed up to pick up his children, Sam, 7, and Lindsey, 8, both students at Fairmont Elementary School in Independence, Missouri, part of the ISD school district. This kicked off a series of tragic events and 3 years of uncertainty. By the end of that time, 2 people would be dead and Dan Porter would be in prison. In this local story, we delve into something rare for us, the unthinkable. But before we get into the story, Krysta has some weird facts to impart to us.
So what you got for us this week, sister?
Okay, so since today is a special day where we are doing something more or less triggering, I figured that I would do something more or less fun.
Okay. What you got?
We are going to be talking about, drumroll please, blood cells and blood itself.
That's fun? That's fun for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not talking about death and murder of children.
Well, yeah, I mean, true, but, I mean, blood. Okay, what's up? What you got?
Today's facts are from .co.com. Thank Thank you.
You know,
Regina Bailey.
Maybe they're not. At least they're not in Vampire.com.
Vampire.com?
I don't know. They seem like the people who would know about blood. I'm just, you know.
Okay. So, this is by Regina Bailey. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to warn the both of you and the listeners. I am going to stop from time to time to catch up my breath and think for a minute, because...
This has lots of big words.
No, I'm... like I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast, I'm a little on the sidelines right now, so yeah, there's gonna be a couple of those choppy sentences.
No, there won't. I'll edit it all together. People won't notice.
Okay, so fact number 1 is not all blood is red. Now, I'm sure both of you,
blue.
plus me, know this, but for the younger listeners, if there are any, hi, hello, might not know this.
Blue.
Yes. While humans have red-colored blood, other organisms have blood of varying colors. Crustaceans, spiders, squid, octopuses, and oh, sorry. Sorry about that. And some arthropods have blue blood. Some types of worms and leeches have green blood. Some species of marine worms have violet blood. Insects, including beetles and butterflies, have colorless or pale yellowish blood.
Wow.
The color of the blood is determined by the type of respiratory pigment used to transport oxygen via the circulatory system to cells. The respiratory pigment in humans is called a protein called hemoglobin, found in red blood cells. Number dos.
Two.
Number dos. Your body contains about a gallon of blood. The adult human body contains approximately 1.325 gallons of blood. Blood makes about 7 to 8% of a person's total body weight. Thank you. Anyway. No, you're good. I was just trying to see what you're saying.
Put it away.
Put it away.
Yeah. Our godmother said, oh, yes, I put it away.
Oh.
So hemoglobin.
Okay, so hemoglobin, and we have close to a gallon of blood?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, you know.
3.
Fact number 3.
Trace.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's all I know how to count up to in Spanish, so.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Blood consists mostly of plasma. Blood circulating in your body is composed of about 55% plasma, which doesn't make sense. 40% red blood, which doesn't make sense. 40% platelets, and 1% white blood cells. None of that made sense.
Okay. Whoa. Why doesn't it make sense?
Because apparently your body's supposed to be made up of like 80% water.
Uh-huh. And that plasma is the liquid part of your blood. That is the water.
Oh. That makes sense.